Just for a second, try to picture that coming to pass. It is as if you are pressing the reset button on your own existence when you consider the possibility of beginning anew, making a change that is so fundamental that it feels like you are starting over. At this point, I want you to have a complete comprehension of this. It is not necessary to abruptly leave the life you are now living in order to begin a new life from scratch. There is no such thing as getting rid of everything and declaring that you are finished with everything. Not at all. Rather, it is about taking action that is purposeful and intelligent in order to reinvent, rebuild, and reboot. Keep in mind the first item that is important. There is a double creation of everything. Give that some thought. The things that you see and the things that are all around you were initially concepts. Before actually bringing it into existence, someone had already conceived of it, envisioned it, and planned it out. A building, a city, a business, and a career are all examples of things that were built twice. In the imagination first, and subsequently in the physical world. Your life is the same as everyone else's. If you are prepared to begin a new life, then you will need to first visualize it with the intention of visualizing each and every particular aspect of it. Can you describe its appearance? What does it feel like? Do you know what it means? In order to get started, you are going to have to be sure that you have a clear vision. It is not uncommon for people to approach me and ask, how do I begin to turn things around? They have realized that they have had enough of the usual routines, the old habits, and the old story that they continue to live out year after year. What they want now is something fresh. You are aware of what I tell them, right? The first step is to make a decision. There is no adjustment, for as long as you believe it should. It is necessary for you to make a decision that is so strong and so decisive that it is as if you are drawing a line in the sand and declaring that this is the end of the road. From this very moment forward, I will be writing a brand new story. There is a new way. When you begin a new life, you are required to make some changes to your routine. Something basic needs to be changed. The first place to start is with your surroundings, your relationships, and your routines. It will require bravery on your part. How come? For the simple reason that the majority of individuals are content with their routines, even if they are miserable. Ironic, don't you think? They fall into a rut, doing the same things day after day, going through the motions of being able to survive. Nevertheless, my dear friends, comfort is the adversary of growth. If you are content with your life, you are not developing. Moreover, if you are not developing, you are gradually deteriorating. Consider the question, what kind of life do I want to create for myself? You shouldn't merely respond with broad statements. Make it clear that you are not simply stating that you want to be successful or happy. Think about the specifics in the picture you have in your head. What happens if you decide to pursue a new line of work? What does it look like? What kind of individuals do you deal with, and what kind of industry do you work in? In the event that it is a more favorable relationship, what characteristics do you wish to cultivate, and what kind of a person do you feel you should be within that partnership? Let's move on to the next essential component for beginning a new life. Leaving the previous one behind is something you have to be willing to do. Although it appears to be straightforward, it is not an easy task. Due to the fact that you have attachments, and those attachments have played a role in shaping you. They are the ones who have shaped your routines, your responses, and your views. Even though they believe they want change, there are some people who continue to cling to the past because it is comfortable for them. The power lies in familiarity. The things that you are still onto that are no longer beneficial to you are something that you need to be really honest with yourself about. Contemplate the people who are a part of your life. People can be divided into two categories. Those who will inspire you to reach your full potential and those who will keep you firmly rooted in your previous narrative are two types of people. You need to be aware of the people you include in your immediate environment. If you are consistently at it, around people who are constantly whining, who tend to have doubts and who worry, there is a good chance that you will find yourself doing the same thing. However, if you associate yourself with people who have vision, who are enthusiastic about prospects, and who are actively growing, then my friends, that enthusiasm is infectious. You are uplifted by it. You are held to a higher standard. and it is a source of inspiration for you. Making adjustments to your environment, on the other hand, is only a portion of the process. The process of beginning a new life also involves altering the way in which you perceive yourself. It is essential that you have a mental picture of the person you are changing into. And I am telling you, the way you perceive yourself is the determining factor in how you behave. In the event that you perceive yourself as someone who is struggling and who is merely attempting to make ends meet, then that is precisely how you will spend your life. However, if you are able to look in the mirror and see someone who is growing, who is capable, who is self-assured, and who has a purpose, then every action you take will be a reflection of that vision. Your new existence requires you to begin communicating in the language of your new life. Words have a lot of power. As seeds they are. You can plant the seeds of potential in the world by speaking words that promote possibility. If you speak the language of fear, self-doubt, and limitations, then that is what will grow. What you say, especially to oneself, should be carefully considered. Changing oneself involves a significant amount of self-talk. Certain individuals engage in conversations with themselves that they would never even consider having with another person. They make statements such as, "I am unable to do it, I do not meet the standards. I will never be successful." The use of those words induces change. The life you live is a direct result of the words you communicate. When you begin a new life, you must also begin new habits, since habits result in momentum. In your mind, a habit is like casting a vote every day for the kind of person you want to be. Your life can be completely transformed by a single simple habit that you maintain over time. Huge things, huge objectives, big dreams, and big transformations are frequently cited as the most important factors in determining success. But the truth is that the little things that you do every day are the ones that make the biggest difference. It is the actions that you take now that will establish the kind of person you will be in a year's time. If you want to improve your physical fitness, you don't have to go from never exercising to running a marathon in order to achieve your goal. You may begin by going for a walk every day or making a commitment to eat one nutritious meal every day. However, you should do it every day. Every day, even if it's just a little bit, the actions you take add up. Moreover, the nice thing about that is that momentum starts to develop again. In due time, you will become aware of a change, not only in your physical appearance, but also in your self-assurance, your vitality, and your perspective. Indeed, this is the power of routine. Having said that, here is yet another item to keep in mind. In order to begin a new life, it is necessary to forgive yourself for the errors that you have committed in the past. It is imperative that you let go of regret. There are a lot of people I've seen who are plagued with regrets over things they didn't do or oversights they made. However, I am telling you that if you are not careful, remorse can be a poisonous substance. In the event that you continue to have regret, it will cause you to feel burdened and prevent you from going forward. No, I am not suggesting that you disregard the past. Learning from it is something that is valuable. However, once you have gained the knowledge, you should let it go. Take this into consideration. Put yourself in the position of holding a hefty stone in each hand. One of them is referred to as old failures, while the other is referred to as opportunities that were lost. The next step is to attempt ascending a mountain while clutching the stones. The impossible, isn't it? You need to reduce the weight of your burden in order to ascend higher. Freeing yourself from those stones is necessary in order to begin a new life. And here is something that the majority of people don't give much thought to, but it is a significant factor in the process of beginning over. What you believe about yourself and the world has a significant impact on the way you live your life. Each and every experience is filtered through them, much like a lens. The beginning of a new life frequently necessitates the adoption of a new set of beliefs. There is a possibility that you will need to question and get rid of beliefs that have kept you stuck. It's not always the actual world that prevents us from moving forward, rather, it's our own interpretation of the world. It's the beliefs that matter. These things keep us in our current positions and force us to live a life that is less than what we desire. In order to begin a new life, it is possible that you will need to do away with the shackles of those beliefs. Make up some new ones. You should tell yourself, I am deserving of a better life. It is possible for me to modify my behavior. Whether you speak it enough or feel it enough, it will eventually take root in your mind. Also, all of a sudden, you are heading in a different direction. Additionally, I am informing you that on the way to a new life, you are going to face obstacles. Simply put, that is the way things are. Alteration is unsettling, and the discomfort that you experience is a test of your determination. Change is something that some people want, but only if it is simple. People say things like, I want a new life, but they are not willing to put up with the difficulties that come along with it. Those challenges and examinations, on the other hand, are what shape one's character. These are the things that demonstrate to you that you are serious. I have a question for you, so here it is. For the sake of transformation, are you willing to engage in activities that cause you discomfort? Have you reached a point where you are willing to experience some discomfort, uncertainty, and challenging situations? Simply because this is what is necessary when beginning a new life. More of you is going to be required of you than you ever were in your previous existence. In order to be successful, you are going to need to have more resilience, patience, and courage. In addition, I am telling you that the rewards are well worth every ounce of effort that you put in if you are willing to respond to that call and if you are willing to rise to the occasion. Please give this some thought for a moment. What would your ideal life look like if you had the ability to create it from scratch? Imagine that you could wake up each day with a sense of excitement, a sense of purpose, and the knowledge that you are engaged in something that is significant. Imagine living a life in which you are surrounded by people who inspire you, in which you have energy, and in which you are continually learning, growing, and becoming more. Feel what it would be like to live that life. What are some things that you are willing to do right now in order to go closer to achieving that vision? This is because it is the way that you begin a new life. Beginning with one step, one option, and one choice at a time. Forget about striving for perfection. What I mean is that you shouldn't wait for everything to be in perfect alignment. Do not wait for some enchanted moment in which everything will suddenly click into place. No moment is ever going to be perfect. The only time that exists is right now, and this is the time to start making a decision and to take the first step, regardless of how insignificant it may be. In the process of waiting for perfection, you are providing yourself with an excuse to stay inactive. On the other hand, you might say, I'll begin when the time is appropriate, or I'll wait until I'm ready. On the other hand, if you are constant in your waiting, you will never actually start. And once you do start along the route, I will give you my thoughts. There is a revelation of the subsequent phase, followed by the subsequent stage. Before you know it, you'll be on your way to your destination. While beginning a new life, it is also necessary to have the ability to accept failure in a different manner. For the majority of people, failure is a warning sign for the purpose of avoiding it. However, if you want to make changes in your life, you must learn from your mistakes and view them as lessons. A lesson is included within every setback, and every setback is a step in the right direction. In my younger years, I had the tendency to view every error I committed as a blow to my self-control and confidence. Over time, however, I came to the realization that each and every setback served as a stepping stone, illuminating the areas in which I was lacking and directing me in a more beneficial path. Try to think about it in this way. It is inevitable that you will make errors if you have been living in the same manner for a number of years and now you want to begin a new life. This is a normal and expected aspect of the procedure. Imagine a young toddler walking for the first time. They are prone to falling, stumbling, and even crying. They do not, however, quit up. And as adults, we have the opportunity to gain some insight from that perseverance. Do not allow yourself to become disheartened when you experience failure or when you make errors. Keep in mind that failure is not the end. To put it simply, it is a part of the tour. In addition, if you want to begin a new life, one thing that you absolutely need to have is discipline. Discipline is frequently disregarded by people because it appears to be difficult. The sound of it is that of a limitation. It seems as though you are preventing yourself from doing something, but I want you to know that discipline is not the same thing as punishment. It serves as the connection between your objectives and the results you have achieved. Consistency is achieved by the use of discipline. At the beginning of the process of motivation waning, you could experience feelings of excitement and motivation. Nevertheless, this excitement will eventually go away. Discipline is required. Nevertheless, continues to exist in the world. Even when things are difficult, it helps you keep pushing forward. Now, let me tell you the excellent news. One can compare discipline to a muscle. When you utilize it more frequently, it becomes more powerful. You begin with a single, insignificant routine, and then you build upon that foundation. Consistency is the most important factor. It is not necessary for you to juggle everything at once. This is all you need to do. Keep moving. Maintain your presence in the world and continue to engage in the mundane activities that get you closer to the new life you are constructing. When you are attempting to begin a new life, you are going to have to step outside of your conventional comfort zone. It makes sense to me. There is no growth in comfort zones, despite the fact that they are pleasant and comfortable places. It is only in the space that is just outside of your comfort zone that growth can occur. Because that is where the magic takes place. Let's get to the tough bit though. At the moment that you begin stretching yourself, your mind is going to play tricks on you when you move outside of that comfort zone that you have made for yourself. It is going to softly utter things like, what if you are unsuccessful? What do you consider yourself to be? However, keep in mind that those are merely notions. They are powerless until you give them power, which they do not have. I'd like to introduce you to a tool that I find helpful. Asking yourself, what if I succeed? Whenever you feel that uncertainty beginning to seep in, is a good idea. The majority of individuals spend their entire lives wondering, what if it doesn't work out? On the other hand, what if it succeeds? If you are successful, what then? What if you actually had the ability to start a new life? What if all of the adjustments you are making bring you to the place that you have always dreamed of being? Please provide yourself permission to consider the possibility of that happening. Think about the best possible outcome rather than the worst possible one. For those of you who are interested in beginning a new life, here is something else that you will require. You need to have goals. It is impossible to begin a new life without having a certain goal in mind. Imagine your goals as the checkpoints along the path you are on. You are provided with a sense of purpose, direction, and a goal to work for. However, here is the thing with objectives. There is more to it than simply setting them. You need to incorporate them into your routine as soon as possible. Goals are something that the majority of people only establish once, perhaps at the beginning of the year, and then they forget about them. You must, however, keep those objectives in the forefront of your mind if you are serious about beginning a new life. Your goals should be written down. You should look at them every day. You should break them down into smaller steps so that they do not feel overwhelming. And you should continue to work through them. There is progress being made, even if it is only one step at a time. Even a modest step forward is progress. And when you accomplish those more manageable objectives, you should rejoice and acknowledge your progress. Success builds on success, and each small win gives you the momentum to keep going. Even if it's just a modest step, success builds on success from the beginning. One of the most important aspects of beginning a new life is accepting responsibility for both where you are and where you are headed. That may be a difficult pill for some individuals to swallow, but the reality is that it is the case. You will lose control of your life if you continue to place blame on other people, the world, or the circumstances. You claim that I am unable to change because of them. However, when you accept responsibility, you regain control of the situation. Because of the decisions I've made, you say, I am in the position that I am in. Aside from that, if I want to be in a different location, I need to start making other decisions. Taking responsibility is a form of empowerment since it allows you to regain control of your life. You are going to have to begin making new decisions if you want to begin a new life for yourself. You have options available to you at every single instant of every single day. There are a few of them that are rather diminutive. There are some that are significant, but they all add up. And every decision you make is either bringing you closer to the life you want or bringing you further away from it. Make it a habit to ask yourself, Is this choice in line with the new life I want to create now? Is the time to act on this question. Although it is a straightforward inquiry, it has the potential to serve as a powerful guidance. There is one more component of beginning a new life that is really important. It is imperative that you exercise patience. Beginning a new life is not a problem that can be solved fast. We are on a journey. There are going to be times when you will feel as like you are not making any progress and you will question whether or not it is worth it. But let me tell you, every single action that you take, every single step that you take with self-control brings you one step closer to achieving your objective. Changing something takes time, and true transformation is a process that unfolds gradually. On the other hand, if you maintain your consistency and keep going, you will finally be able to look back and see how far you have come eventually. Learn to be patient with yourself. It is not a problem if things do not occur as rapidly as you would like them to. It is not a problem if you have setbacks or become disheartened while walking. The most important thing is that you do not give up. Like planting a seed, growth is a process. In the beginning, you won't be able to see the results of your hard work, but with time and care, it will eventually flourish. Therefore, do not rush through the process. Have faith that you will arrive at your destination if you maintain your dedication and continue to take those baby steps. I want you to keep in mind something that is really significant. There is no such thing as escaping your history when you begin a new life. It is about moving on and gaining knowledge from the experience. Sometimes people get the feeling that they need to flee from all they have ever done in order to purge themselves of their errors and begin their lives from scratch. However, do you know what? Having a history is valuable. Despite the fact that they were challenging and painful, the experiences you have had have taught you valuable lessons. Because of them, you are the person you are today. Instead of trying to escape your past, you should face it head on. It is important to remember the lessons, but you should not allow the past to determine your future. The most important thing to keep in mind is that it is never too late to begin. It is. No matter how old you are, whether you're 20, 40, or 70, you are able to change if you have the desire to do so. At every age, in every circumstance, and from every part of the world, I've witnessed people making significant changes in their lives. Your age is not a barrier. Circumstances do not constitute a barrier. The only obstacle is the conviction that you are unable to do it. Therefore, you shouldn't let that belief prevent you from moving forward. When it comes to rewriting your story, it is never too late. Imagine that life is a number of different seasons. There are certain seasons that are ideal for planting, others for growth, and yet others for harvesting. And every once in a while, you require a period of rest. A time for introspection, for reimagining, and for getting ready for what lies ahead. If you have reached a point in your life where you are prepared to try something new, then perhaps this is the time for you to experience a period of regeneration. Now is the time to begin again, with the purpose of sowing the seeds of a fresh start. When you start a new life, you must give yourself permission to start over and become a novice once more. There are some individuals who are reluctant to begin again because they are concerned about their lack of experience. With regard to not having complete knowledge straight away. On the other hand, every master was once a novice. You shouldn't let the worry that you won't know anything prevent you from starting. Accept and enjoy the process of learning. Recognize and celebrate the fact that you are embarking on a new journey, that you are developing something new and original. Utilize your exhilaration as a driving force. And keep in mind that you do not have to go through this by yourself. Place yourself in the company of individuals who are supportive of you and who have faith in you. Those who are supportive of you on your path. Attempt to find mentors, people who have gone through the same experience as you have. The right mentor can make all the difference in the world by directing you, demonstrating what is feasible, and assisting you in avoiding some of the challenges that you will encounter along the path. Life is a priceless commodity. It is a blessing. You are the one who has the ability to make it whatever you want it to be. Make sure that you do not accept a life that is less than what you hope for. You should not allow fear or doubt to prevent you from moving forward. Determine that you are going to produce something that is fresh, something that is beautiful, and something that has significance, decide that you are going to transform into the kind of person you have always envisioned yourself to be. When you are ready to begin a new life, it is important to keep in mind that you already own everything that you require within you. You possess the fortitude, you are wise, and you are courageous, and if you find that you require some assistance along the route, not to worry about it. At some point or another, each of us requires assistance. On the other hand, the ability to evolve and the ability to begin over are already there within you. Be the first to take that step today. Aspire to it. And if you continue to take those steps, if you continue to move forward, you will one day be able to look back and see how far you have come. You will soon be able to begin your new life. One thing you need to do is get started.